Welcome back to the Enfield Talking newspaper. We think we've solved our technical problems, so hope there are no more sound problems on the tape. Now we return to local news with Janet.
Plans to turn the borough into a major producer of fresh food will be unveiled at conference in central London. Del Goddard, Cabinet Member for Business and Regeneration, will officially launch Garden Enfield, a market gardening project which aims to combine allotment cultivation with large-scale food production to create 1,200 jobs and generate income for Enfield Council. The project is part of New Directions programme, aimed at delivering economic growth and environmental sustainability, and seeks to dramatically increase the amount of publicly owned land in and around Enfield used to grow fruit and vegetables. Other speakers at the conference include Rosie Boycott, Chairwoman of the London Food Board, Gary Taylor of the Lee Valley Growers Association, and Steve Dalbiggin, Principal of Capel Manor College in Ballsmore Lane, Enfield, with whom the Council has been working over the past year to establish a market garden at 40 Hall Farm. The Council believes that becoming a food supplier will create jobs and training opportunities and generate revenue, enabling it to minimise the impact of central government funding cuts and protect frontline services. Mr. Goddard says these ambitious plans would put Enfield at the forefront of food production in London. This scheme is good for the environment, reduces the distance our food has to travel between the field and our plates, and will help to create hundreds of jobs. It also gives our schools, residents and businesses the opportunity to grow their own fruit and vegetables, so our borough is more self-sufficient and far less dependent on imported food than it is at present. To date, the Council has established 3 acres of land for vegetable growing at 40 Hall Farm, where pupils from 10 schools have started cultivating their own vegetables for school dinners. The Council is hoping to add another 15 schools to the scheme later this year. Work is also underway to set up regional food production chain in partnership with Epping Forest District Council and Utterford District Council in Essex and Broxbourne Council.
The Lee Valley Regional Park Authority has completed a multi-million-pound expansion of the venue that hosted the canoe slalom during the London 2012 Olympic Games. The authority, which is based in Bulls Cross, Enfield, manages the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre alongside other venues, including the Lee Valley Athletics Centre and Lee Valley Velo Park. And the Water Centre has now been officially reopened for 2014 following a £6.3 million expansion that will give visitors a chance to tackle all water sports at the site. The centre was opened by Olympians Etienne Stott and Tim Bailey, who won gold at the park in Waltham Cross 2 years ago. It will have a gym and physiotherapy suite for all athletes, as well as bigger changing rooms for visitors. Sean Dawson, Chief Executive of Lee Valley Regional Park Authority, said the construction of these state-of-the-art facilities for GB Canoeing's athletes and support team is an integral part of the Centre's London 2012 legacy. As well as benefiting the elite athletes and next generation of paddlers who train and compete here, everyone will be able to take advantage of this inspirational world-class venue. The Lee Valley Whitewater Centre will host the Canoe Slalom World Cup in June.
Businesses are being encouraged to take advantage of a broadband voucher scheme to help boost their internet connection speed. The Connection Voucher Scheme is being run by Enfield Council and the Greater London Authority. The first business in the borough to benefit is Bridgman Quality Garden Furniture in Lockfield Avenue, Brimsdown. firms will receive a voucher worth up to £3,000 to invest in superfast broadband to expand domestic and international business. Howard Bridgman, Managing Director of the garden furniture business, said, "I highly recommend other companies to contact the Council Broadband Project team and apply for a grant, as this will make a big difference to your company." Firms in Brimsdown have told the Council that their existing internet providers have been unable to upgrade their service and meet their business needs, and that the lack of reliable broadband was having an impact on their work. Now small or medium-sized businesses and charities in Enfield are eligible to apply for the vouchers from the Council to upgrade their broadband infrastructure. It's part of a scheme funded by the Department for Culture, Media and Sport. Enfield is one of 6 boroughs in London taking part in Phase 1 of the voucher scheme, along with Croydon, Sutton, Westminster, Redbridge and the City of London. Enfield Cabinet Member for Business and Resources, Del Goddard, said, "A strong local economy is good news for the council and the wider community, because local companies provide jobs for residents and keep wealth in our borough, helping to drive affluence and a thriving Enfield economy."
Women are being invited to enter a competition to represent the borough as the Carnival Queen and Princess. The Enfield Carnival Association, which has organised the annual event since 1890, has invited women between the ages of 16 and 36 to take part in the competition and represent the borough on the carnival circuit for a year. Entrants will be asked to attend a dance at the end of this month and will have to impress judges with their warm personalities. "We don't care about looks or nationalities, it's purely about personalities," explained Carnival Chairman John Ashton. They get to travel to many places in the country to visit other carnivals. They make lots of new friends and it's something they can put on their CV. The court will be attending carnivals throughout the summer. This year's Enfield Carnival is expected to take place on August the 9th and will raise money for charities working with disabled people throughout the borough.
School children got to grips with Shakespeare in preparation for the inaugural Lamb Festival, which is due to take place later this year. Youngsters from Latimer All Saints Primary School in Hydethorpe Avenue, Edmonton, have been studying the Bard and spent the morning reading from Macbeth at All Saints Church in Church Street, Edmonton. At the same time, the pupils also read the abridged version coined by Charles Lamb and his sister Mary, whose remains are buried in the adjoining graveyard. Reverend Stuart Owen, Vicar of All Saints and organiser of the first Lamb Festival, hosted the school children. He said, "It got them thinking about different ways of reading the same story. The stories of Macbeth and Charles and Mary Lamb are both pretty gruesome, elements which are always work with children." The event was a warm-up before the 9-day festival, which begins on May the 31st. School children are being invited to write essays around the titles of Charles Lamb's work or take part in a photography competition based on titles of Shakespeare plays. For more details about the competitions and the festivals, visit www.allsaintsedmonton.org.uk/lamb-festival.html or www.facebook.com/lambfestival.
2 park trainees have spoken of the importance apprenticeships have played in their careers to mark National Apprenticeship Week. Michael Green, 19, and Eldad Anoba, 22, are apprentices at 2 Enfield parks, helping with maintenance including clearing leaves and cutting the grass. Mr. Green, who works at Jubilee Park, believes his apprenticeship has given him the skills to progress in the business. He said, "I did have the option to go to university, but I didn't think it would be worth it, so I took up an apprenticeship, and it's been great. I've learnt so much since I started 18 months ago, and now that I'm coming to an end of the apprenticeship, I hope I can get a job here." Both apprentices will finish this month and are hopeful of staying on permanently. Mr. Anoba, who works at Durrance Park, said the visual impact of the work he does is the biggest positive from his job. He said, "You can see the result of all your hard work, and so can others. That's the most rewarding part of my job. I've always wanted to do something that's hands-on, and I'm confident that with this experience I'll be able to stay on." When both asked about what they would like to do in the future, both had different ideas about their career paths. Mr. Green said, "I would eventually like to set up my own business and perhaps take it abroad to maybe Australia or that sort of region." Mr. Anoba said, "Working my way up to become a park manager one day would be great, and then from there, who knows, there's lots of opportunities." The pair will both attend the Apprentice Awards ceremony for more than 200 apprentices in Enfield.
Residents have rejected plans for a synthetic grass sports pitch offered as part of community agreement by a housing developer. Following a consultation last year, people living in Millicent Grove and Cherry Blossom Close in Palmer's Green confirmed that they did not want the proposed floodlit synthetic sports pitch, but instead preferred an open green space and a multi-use games court. The synthetic sports pitch and changing rooms were to be built by Fairview Homes as part of a section of 106 agreement when planning approval was given for building a housing estate in the south of the borough. The intention was to hire the facilities out to groups running organised sports activities, but the idea has now been scrapped. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for the Environment, Chris Bond, said, "Since the results of the consultation came in, we have been in negotiations with Fairview Homes, who owns the land, so we can meet the wishes of residents. I'm delighted we've made fantastic progress, and although there are a number of phases which need to be completed before the land can be transferred, we have reached an outline agreement with Fairview Homes. The land is now earmarked for the multi-use games area and will be transferred to the council later this year. Fairview will apply to the council to build 3 houses on the land where the changing rooms were planned."
The opportunity to play at one of the best rugby clubs in the country was bestowed on an Enfield club when they went on a big day out. Enfield Ignatians Rugby Club swapped their Donkey Lane playing fields with Allianz Park in Mill Hill for one day. The 10,000-seater stadium is home to Premiership side Saracens Rugby Club, and players of all ages, right up to the men's sides, played their fixtures at the ground. Players and fans came and went throughout the day, with the showpiece men's first 15 starting at 7:30 p.m. Organiser Harold Pritchard said it was the first time in the world a non-professional rugby side has been able to play all its games for one day at a professional stadium. He said, "This is not something you see every day, nor in fact do we believe this has happened anywhere in the world. The artificial surface has meant that we can field 600 players from all teams on one pitch in one day, which is incredible." The carnival atmosphere gave players the chance to play in front of television cameras and feel like professionals. Mr. Pritchard added, "Everybody is having a great time, and this is one of the proudest days in the club's history. Everyone has been made to feel like a superstar, with all their names being announced over the tannoy. We have put in months of hard work and many hours with Saracens. I would like to thank everyone involved at the club, as well as Saracens, who have made this possible." Fadi Fayaz, aged 13, played for Ignatians in their side's 2019 win. He said, "I loved every moment. The pitch is massive compared to our regular games, and there's more space to run into." Conor McDermott, aged 14, said, "It was great to play at a ground like this. I hope we can do the same next year."
Teenage high jumper Chris Candu set a personal best as he came first in a record-breaking performance at the England Athletics Indoor Championships in Sheffield. The Enfield Grammar School pupil set a personal best of 2.22 metres and broke the height competition record, which was set 23 years ago. The 18-year-old has competed for Great Britain and Team England and is currently coached by John Herbert. The athlete also gained a qualifying jump height that enters him for the IAAF World Junior Championship in Oregon, USA, in July. Candu started jumping at the age of 13 and has enjoyed a rapid rise in the sport. He was 45th in the UK under-15 rankings in 2009, but within a year had jumped 1.9 metres to climb up to second in the rankings. In 2011, Candu managed 2.06 metres, which made him first in the UK under-17 standings. His progression continued last year when he jumped 2.18 metres to become the top under-20 high jumper, and this is a position he still holds. Candu has been training alongside Olympic bronze medalist Robbie Grabars and is hoping to make a big impression at the World Junior Championships this summer. If you're interested in sponsoring him, then you can contact Lauren Solomon at Enfield Grammar School on 0208 363 1095.
The parents of Hannah Defoe have been told they face yet another delay in their quest for truth about their daughter's death. An inquest was scheduled to be heard this week at Barnet Coroner's Court, but has been adjourned for a third time after it was decided that an inquest into St Lucia, where the 20-year-old student died 2 years ago, must conclude before one begins in this country. Hannah was electrocuted while swimming in a hotel pool on a holiday in a Caribbean island on July the 25th, 2012. The family still do not know how her body was recovered from the pool attached to Juliet Lodge Hotel in Vaux Fort, as they have been told that repeated rescue attempts were stymied by the fact that every person who tried to rescue Hannah on the night of the tragedy was themselves hit by an electric shock. As yet, the family still do not know who was responsible for the electricity running through the pool, and if anyone will ever be held to account for Hannah's death. Although a jury inquest is now taking place on the island, the Defoe family barrister has revealed that they still have not heard when the St Lucian authorities will be calling key witnesses, including British holidaymakers who witnessed the charity. Speaking on behalf of the relatives, Janice Brennan said, Hannah's grief-stricken family, most especially her parents Matthew and Hope, have borne their loss with extraordinary dignity. Even when faced with official obstruction, willful withholding of crucial information into the cause of death, and interminable delays, they continue to show a brave face and speak with unfailing courtesy. They wait for the St Lucian Director of Public Prosecutions to institute criminal proceedings, continues. Their pain goes on, but they remain as determined as ever to do their duty to their daughter.
An Enfield Garden Centre welcomed disabled children to try out its new specialised swing. Capel Manor Gardens in Bullsmore Lane has officially opened the swing, which can be used by children who are disabled and in wheelchairs. Children from the Cheviots Children's Centre in Cheviots Lane, Enfield, were eager to test out the new play area, which was funded by Edmonton Rotary Club. Children who could not wait to get on and started singing the nursery rhyme, "Row, row, row your boat," as this wooden swing went back and forth. It was opened by 8-year-old Harvey Parry, who lost both his legs and 3.5 fingers on his right hand after he caught a deadly strain of the meningitis virus when he was 15 months old. He said, "I am very honoured to open this swing for people with disabilities. I walk with prosthetic legs and will be coming to play on it. I have never really been able to go on a swing, but now I will be able to." John Thorpe from Edmonton Rotary Club said, "We are so happy that we have managed to raise this money for a worthy cause. This will be useful to the community and many disabled children will be able to use it." Mark Shuttlewood, who works at Cheviot's Children's Centre, said that he had never seen such a device and was thrilled it had been opened. He said, "We have done a lot of different activities, but sometimes we are limited in what we can do. I have never seen anything like this before, and the look on the children's faces says it all. They love it." One child was crying when he was taken off because he wanted to go back on. "I would like to see more of these in the future around parks to give disabled children the chance to go on a swing."
Now here's a couple of sports stories. In hockey, Southgate took a huge step towards claiming the men's Conference East title of the English Hockey League by securing a 4-3 victory at Holcombe on Saturday to replace the Kent side at the top of the table. Danny Hall fired Holcombe into the lead, but Rick Gray equalised, and further goals put the visitors in control by half-time. The hosts hit back, but Southgate were not to be denied, and Gray scored the winner with 10 minutes remaining. The victory took Southgate, who host Oxford shortly, 3 points clear at the top with 3 matches remaining.
Have you seen young people playing sport at QE2 Park, or tried women-only multi-sport sessions at Edmonton Leisure Centre? If so, these are just a few of the many projects being delivered by Spurs in Enfield. As part of Tottenham Hotspur's Football Club's recent move into world-class training facilities at Balls Cross, the club committed to deliver a range of sport and physical activity programs for the local community until 2020. Through the establishment of a Section 106 partnership agreement between Enfield Council, Lee Valley Regional Park Authority and the club since 2010, the Foundation has delivered programs that have benefited people of all ages and abilities living within or attending sport and physical activity provision within Enfield. The Tottenham Hotspur Foundation wants to make sure you know what free activities are available, and they have teamed up with the Enfield Independent to provide readers with a community-faced blog that will showcase our projects and give Enfield residents the opportunity to come and take part.
A new community and health centre in the east of the borough is beginning to take shape. The former library at Ordnance Road, Enfield Lock, will be replaced by the Ordnance Unity Centre, which will hold a community hall, doctors and dentist surgeries. Building is due to be completed this summer. Councillor Christine Hamilton, Enfield Borough Council's Cabinet Member for Community Safety, Wellbeing and Public Health, said it will provide essential services for this area, improving lives in every way. This project has been planned with local people, the NHS and the Council. It will soon be complete and established as an indispensable community building for people of all ages to use and enjoy.
6 sheep heads have been discovered in an Edmonton supermarket. The heads are believed to be more than 4 years old and still had the animal's teeth attached. The bizarre discovery was made during a routine check by Enfield Borough Council officers at an unnamed shop in the town on Tuesday, February the 25th, and the find is now under further investigation. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, Councillor Chris Bond, said, There are very good reasons why we have strict controls in place regarding food safety associated with meat, and it's incredibly irresponsible of this trader to flout these regulations. We take this sort of behaviour incredibly seriously. We take a dim view of people who simply cannot be bothered to take the proper legal precautions to protect the public from exposure to a potentially fatal disease. The business in question had no records of when and where they purchased these heads, which is concerning because anyone buying and ultimately eating them doesn't have the faintest idea of what they are eating. It's a legal requirement for all businesses to ensure that they have documentation for all the food they are supplied with and that reputable suppliers are used.
Edmonton MP Andy Love has called for more new homes to be built in his constituency. In 2013, 144 new homes were started in the Labour MP's constituency, which is 39 below the national average. This was a big increase on 2011, when just one new home was built, but Mr Love has called for more. He said, "It is positive that new homes are being built in Edmonton, as this impacts on the local economy and often creates local jobs. But affordable housing is what we're in desperate need of, and we appear to fall woefully short across the whole borough." What happened to the government's promise to replace all the social housing that is being sold off on a one-for-one basis? Figures also show that in 2012-13, 33 social rented and 11 affordable homes for sale were completed across the borough.
We've reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So from the team of Janet, Sally, Keith and Robin on the controls, it's goodbye.
Bye.
Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible, in readiness for the next edition. Don't forget you can call Diane de Jersey regarding any help you may require in connection with the Enfield Talking newspaper. The Enfield Talking newspaper will be with you again in 1 week's time.